What's up, everybody, and thank you for listening to Mastering the Mindset. My name is Dariusdotch, and I'm an actor, hip-hop artist, and fitness and life coach. And I'm here to personally help you train and improve your mindset so that you can, 1, become the best version of yourself mentally, and 2, gain focus and motivation to be able to take action and achieve the success in life that you want and deserve. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to my channel, and at the end of this episode, if you liked it, please share it with a friend or a loved one or someone who would benefit from hearing this message. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm ready to go on this journey with you, and that journey begins now. All right, and welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to talk about the contrast of the human experience of life, and we're going to talk about how we need to make sure that we're not going through life in this mediocre so-so area, the middle of the spectrum area in any aspect of our lives. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean by that in a moment. But I want to talk about this podcast I was listening to the other day. It was an interview between Ed Mylett, who was a life coach that I follow, and he was talking to this dude by the name of Colin O'Brady. And Colin O'Brady is a very strong person. I'm not talking about muscles, but mentally. Well, he actually is physically strong. He's done a whole lot of physical challenges, broken all kinds of world records and stuff. But the thing that's most fascinating to me about him is he is the first man to trek across Antarctica. And when I say trek, I mean trek. He did this unassisted, meaning he didn't have no vehicle, no dogs, no snowmobile. He packed up all his food and supplies for about 60 days, and he pushed his own sled across Antarctica. Can you imagine? Not only the physical challenges from having to push a sled and being in that extremely cold weather, doing something that nobody has ever done before, and then on top of that, the mental challenge, the being alone for 60 days, having to keep yourself in the right mental space to want to continue and to stay in the game, to stay consistent and doing something that you don't even know if you can do. You don't even know if you'll survive. That took a really strong mental effort to do that. 60 days. And made me think about my physical journey. And one of the things I've been doing lately, as for the last year and a half, is I've been running outside a lot. Like it's part of my workout plan. I try to go to the gym 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and on Tuesday and Thursday, I go for a run around the lake. And look, if you know me, if you knew the old me, the way I hated running, like it was never an option. That long distance running, nope. My lower back always gets tight. I feel like it takes way too long. And depending on where you're running, the ground might not be as absorbent as it should be or as it could be, and your shins start to hurt, right? And it just feels like it never ends. Running for long distance. And before, I would only run like a mile and then be done. I'd be done with it. Now, I'm running almost 2 miles each time. The lake by my house, it's about 1.8 miles. And look, the lower back pain, still there. My muscles still start to get tight. My lungs hurt because I'm tired as hell, right? And it's also got a few hills that I have to run up, which makes it even harder. And it never gets easier. Well, it's never easy. I'll say that. It's never easy. And every single time I get to a point around the lake and my mind wants to stop. And it makes my body hurt even more. And I think if I just stop for 5 seconds, just 5 seconds, it ain't that big of a deal. It ain't that big of a difference to your workout. It's just 5 seconds. And every time I have to dig deep. I have to remind myself that, hey, you've done this before. That it's moments like this that's going to help me achieve my goals in life. Because if I decide to stop every time something gets hard, how in the hell will I ever do it on a larger scale? With something that's truly important, with the challenge that's way tougher than this, at least this challenge is self-inflicted. I chose to come out here and run, right? But what's going to happen if I'm just living my life, trying to build the life I want, and things happen that ain't in my control? What am I going to do then? And I have to dig deep mentally to just keep running, And I think to myself that if I just keep putting one foot in front of the other, I'll eventually get there. Just one foot after another. and I count each step up to 10. I break it down every 10 strides, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's 10. 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get to 10, boom. And I keep going, breaking it down mentally into 10 stride chunks. And I don't stop running. I just keep counting to 10 over and over again. And by doing it this way, it makes me have to only pay attention to what's going on in front of me. I'm not looking at how far I got to go to make it all the way around. I'm not thinking about where I am right now compared to where I have to get to. Only the next 10 steps in front of me. And this applies to several areas of life, right? And hearing Colin O'Brady talk, it really reminded me that it's important to be able to tap in to your mental capabilities. And what he was talking about was, if you think about your life and every aspect of your life, every area of your life on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the worst, right? Your health, your relationships, your business, your career, whatever it may be. He says that if you don't have 1s in any aspect of your life, you can't ever have the 10s. But we're so afraid of the 1s that we live life in the 5s every single day. And look, I don't know about you, but I'm not interested in no damn 5s. That's lukewarm. Why are we choosing to live in the 5s just because we're afraid of the 1s? Even when the 1s don't necessarily mean it's a devastating blow. The 1s could be fleeting, and we're still afraid of it. They could be fleeting, and we're still afraid. We can be afraid to just call our shot and go after something because we're afraid, and we build up this story in our head that we could potentially, quote unquote, fail. And when we fail, that's going to be a 1. Because what we do is, if we fail at something, we make it mean that we suck. We make it mean that everybody's judging us. We make it mean that we're not capable. We're not worthy. And we make it a conditional thing, like we're a failure. But the reality of it is, those 1s are fleeting. They don't last forever. You got to have the option and the experience of having to fail or misstep so you can have the opportunities to bounce back and get that 10. Because we know life can deal you 1s. You don't even have to do it to yourself, right? 1s get dealt to you every now and then. And you may or may not believe that everything happens for a reason. I personally do. But one thing I think we can all agree on is that no matter what happens, we have the option of creating the meaning behind it. We get to determine the meaning out of any experience that happens. And we do. As humans, we are meaning-creating beings. We do it all the time. Any event can be neutral, and we create the meaning. What's up, what's up, what's up? I want to take a quick moment to say thank you so much for listening to this episode, and to also let you know that this podcast is 100% donation-driven, which means it's completely funded by you, the listener. So, if you like the content I have to offer, I would love it if you can make a donation, and you get to pick the amount. I left links in the description of the video as well as my homepage. You can choose which way benefits you the best to donate. And if you need more options, please feel free to email me at dariusdotch@gmail.com. That's dariusdotch@gmail.com. Again, thank you so much for being here, and let's get back to it. And what I want you to take away from this episode, or one of the things, is that if you're in a 1 season right now, or even if you're having a 1 moment at some point in your day or some point in the future, recognize that it's a requirement to have the contrast of the 10. That when you look back to where you were, where you used to be, when you have those moments of reflection, when you overcome something, that high, that contrast is so much more enjoyable. It's higher than it would be if you never got low. Maybe you're dealing with death. Maybe you're dealing with financial hardship. Maybe you're dealing with relationship or love challenges. Your career might be in a dark place. Just remember that it's temporary, that it's going to take some mental strength to get you through it, that no matter what, you can always lean on yourself, even when you don't think you can make it. You know that you have been through some hard times before, some dark times, and you made it through that. And more than likely, you probably wasn't even focusing on using it to strengthen you back then. It just made you stronger. You look back and say, damn, I came a long way. Damn, I don't know how I got through that. Damn, I'm a better person because I went through that. So imagine how it's going to feel if you make a conscious decision to actively work on yourself during these moments, to allow it to strengthen you mentally, to push through it, even when nobody else knows your struggle. When you make it to the top, when you make it through to the other side, you're going to be at that 10. Now, I don't ever wish a 1 on anybody, but there is a powerful thing in recognizing that when you're in a 1 moment or in a 1 season, understanding that you will get out of it. Might not feel like you will, but you will get a 10. And if you change your perspective while you're going through it, that 10 is going to be so much higher because there's always things we can learn from the 1s. Life deals you 1s, and sometimes you have to actually allow yourself the opportunity to potentially get a 1. And that means calling your shot, doing something where you don't know what the outcome is going to be. Maybe you're afraid of failure, which means you're probably afraid of people watching you fail, thinking that it's going to mean something about you or that the way they think about you would change. But if you ain't willing to risk having a 1, you're going to risk going through life living at a 5. And we pretend that we're okay with that. And I know you ain't okay with that because you don't listen to a podcast called Mastering the Mindset if you feel like, I'm good. I think I'm going to just live life at a 5. This is nice. I'm okay having a so-so marriage, a so-so health, kind of sort of going after my dreams, but only when it's convenient, when I feel like it. And look, what I'm not doing is telling you that you have to have this huge fire lit inside you and you need to be this productive machine and just get it done every single day of your life. That's not realistic. That's not what life is about. Life is about the contrast. If you have some areas in your life that you don't feel good about, that are the 5s, any day could be the day you decide to do something about that. You can change things. You don't need to wait for the new year or your next big birthday. You can change things right now. If you recognize that the 1s are required to get the 10s and that the journey you're on ain't this smooth ride with no bumps, that it's actually a roller coaster. And you can get to a place mentally where you just buckle up and embrace the ride. If you're so terrified of having a 1, you'll never risk anything. You'll never put yourself out there. You'll never ask that person out. You'll never buy that plane ticket to go to that place to be in a room with those people. You'll never actually try and grow that business. You'll never make that investment on yourself. You'll never find a better career. You won't get to have the full experience. Who wants to get to the end of it all, however long we all have left, and be like, well, I never got close to my dreams. I never got to experience what I truly wanted. But hey, I didn't feel any pain. I didn't fail. No. You want to get there and be like, woo, that was a ride. I really did that. I really made it through that. And I had some amazing moments. It was a hell of a ride. I showed up. So if you're in a 1 season, maybe you should just look down and take it 10 steps at a time. 1 step at a time. Just put 1 foot in front of the other and worry about that next step. That's the most important one. You can't make it to the top without taking that next step. The one that's in front of you. You can't skip the steps. You literally can't. To get to wherever you're going, if you're at that 1, to get away from that 1, you're going to have to take steps. So why not take them in the best way possible? On to the next, on to the next. We can't focus on the steps way down the road. Whatever season that may be headed our way, that incline, that cliff, what if you just focus on what's right in front of you? Don't be focused on the fear of a 1 that's always fleeting anyway, and stop living in the 5s. I want better for you. I want better for us. We got this. So that's what I got for you today. If you like this episode, please share it with somebody that can benefit from this, somebody who is a friend or a family member, somebody who has goals and is trying to improve their lives. So thank you again, and let's get it in.